Okay, let's dive into one of the coolest and maybe most misunderstood ideas in the entire world of wine. We're going to uncover a kind of secret identity that explains exactly why a wine tastes the way it does.
You know, it all really boils down to this one question. It's something you've probably wondered about yourself, right? How can you take the exact same grape, a Pinot Noir, for instance, and have it taste completely, radically different, depending on where it's from? I mean, it's the same plant, the same DNA, so what's going on here?
And I mean, the difference is just wild. A Pinot Noir from Burgundy in France, you might get these beautiful, delicate, earthy flavors, almost like mushrooms on a forest floor. But that very same grape grown in sunny California? Whoa, suddenly you're tasting ripe cherry, a hint of vanilla. It's just this big, powerful, fruit-forward wine. It's a total night and day difference.
Well, the answer to this whole mystery is a single incredible French word, terroir. This is the key. This one word unlocks everything.
So what on earth does terroir actually mean? Let's decode it, because this idea is what gives every single wine its unique personality.
At its heart, terroir is the complete natural environment where a wine is made. And it's not just one thing. It's this whole complex dance of different factors. Honestly, the best way to think about it is like a wine's unique fingerprint. It's the reason a wine tastes like it comes from one specific spot on the globe. It has what people call a sense of place, or my favorite, its somewhereness.
We can actually break this big idea down into four main pillars. First, you've got the climate, all the weather patterns, the sun, the rain. Then there's the soil, the actual dirt the vines dig their roots into. Next is topography, which is really just the shape of the land. Is it a steep hill, a flat valley? And finally, and this one might surprise you, there's the human hand, all the traditions, the farming techniques, and the decisions made by the winemakers.
So you see, terroir isn't just about nature, it's also about nurture. It's this amazing interaction. Let's look at how these four pillars come together to create something totally unique in your glass.
Climate is kind of like the maestro of the orchestra. It sets the whole vibe. In cooler climates, grapes take their sweet time to ripen, which means they hold on to more acidity and develop these really fresh, bright aromas. But in hot climates, they ripen super fast, packing in more sugar, which later becomes higher alcohol, and those big, bold, ripe fruit flavors.
And then you've got the soil, which is literally the foundation for everything. Take Champagne, for instance. The super famous chalky soils there are amazing. They act like a sponge, giving the vines water when they need it. And that unique soil is a huge part of why Champagne has that zippy acidity and what people call minerality, that crisp, clean, almost wet rock kind of taste.
The shape of the land, the topography, is a huge deal too. Over in Germany's Moselle Valley, they grow Riesling on these insanely steep slopes made of slate. The dark slate soaks up the sun's heat, which helps ripen the grapes, and that steepness makes the vines really struggle to survive. But here's the cool part. That struggle makes the grapes incredibly concentrated and packed with flavor.
But you know, none of this just happens on its own. The human hand is guiding this whole process. We're talking about generations of winemakers passing down knowledge, knowing exactly how to prune the vines, and making that absolutely critical call on the perfect day, the perfect hour to start harvesting. That human touch is a non-negotiable part of terroir.
Okay, so now that we have the building blocks, let's go on a quick little taste tour around the world and see this stuff in action.
You can see this play out everywhere. In Bordeaux, France, they have these gravelly soils that are perfect for draining water, which Cabernet Sauvignon loves. The result? Powerful, structured red wines. Then, zip over to Mendoza, Argentina. The super high altitude there means intense sun during the day but cool nights. That's the perfect recipe for a rich, velvety Malbec. Or how about Marlborough, New Zealand? The cool climate and long sunny days create that zesty, vibrant, almost electric Sauvignon Blanc that it's famous for.
And let's do one more classic example. Barolo in Italy. Here, the Nebbiolo grape grows in these specific calcareous soils, which are full of calcium. And that combination, it creates these massive red wines with really firm tannins. That's the stuff that makes your mouth feel a little dry. And it's why these wines can age and get better for decades. It's a wine that simply couldn't exist anywhere else.
So how does knowing all this change things? How does it affect how you look at your next glass of wine? Let's bring it all back home.
I love this quote. It just sums it all up so perfectly. A wine with typicity, which just means it really tastes like where it's from, is a fingerprint of the land. It's like a snapshot of the climate, the soil, the grapes, and even the local culture, all right there in the bottle.
And the best part is you can actually go out and taste this for yourself. It's easy. Here are 3 things to try. First, compare. Grab 2 bottles of the same grape, say a Chardonnay, but from 2 totally different places, and taste them next to each other. Second, just ask questions. Next time you're at a wine shop, just ask, hey, where is this from? What's it like there? And third, start noticing the words. Look for descriptors like minerality, earthy, or saline, which is kind of a cool, salty character, on labels or in reviews. Those are all clues about the wine's terroir.
Because ultimately, that's what this is all about. Understanding terroir completely transforms wine. It stops being just a drink, and it becomes a story. A liquid story of a very specific time and a very specific place on our planet.
And that brings us to one last really important question. You know, terroir is this incredibly delicate balance, and climate is a huge piece of that puzzle. So as our global climate continues to change, you have to wonder, right? Will these iconic terroirs, these fingerprints of Bordeaux, Burgundy, and all the rest, will they be able to survive as we know them? It's definitely something to think about.